Hey gamers, I'm Rilespread. I've already made a video on this for Generations 1 and 2 of the Pokemon games, so now I'm going to go over a different generation's music and attempt to explain some of the emotions behind it. Generation 4 has always meant a lot to me, mostly because Pokemon Pearl was my first game in the series, which means that I've made more memories of the Sinnoh region in particular than most of the other ones. I think that having slight alterations to every overworld theme based on the time of day is a super fun twist to the usual Pokemon OST. It can really change your mood depending on the time that you play. Most often the nighttime variations are a little bit slower than the originals and use a select few different instruments for the melody and percussion. My first video on Pokemon music was only around 4 minutes, but because there's a whole lot more to talk about in this video, I'll be splitting it into 2 halves, overworld music and a short section for battle music. Let's get started. Music is just as important to me as gameplay in an RPG, or any game for that matter. Here are some more memorable tunes you'll hear in the overworld of Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. This track is played in the beginning 2 routes, Route 201 and Route 202. It comes off very warm and chippy, and it's a nice introduction to the game without being too intense for newcomers. In the nighttime version, the bells at the end of every bass section are replaced by a slower string note. This still leaves the listener happy and at ease, but projects more of a neutral, slower tone instead. The first town you travel to that has a gym is Orberg City, an unusually large town for the beginning of the game, reflected by the faster bassline and melodies, and the jazzy and unusual instruments that are used, which could symbolize the curious excitement of the first real challenge in your journey. Mount Coronet is a major story location for the entire game, and in the final stretch to meet the mascot legendaries Dialga, Palkia, or Giratina, this unrelenting mix of traditional piano and electric piano comes off as a stressful masterpiece. I interpret it as heart-pounding and suspenseful, mostly because by the time you reach the summit, you're on your way to fight Cyrus for the final time. Jumping forward to the end location of the story mode, Sinnoh's Pokemon League track plays with a somber, nostalgic piano. The faint echo of every key played makes me remember everything that I did on my journey up until that point. The alteration of the piano to electric and the xylophone in the bass line makes me sad every time I hear this track. It's very similar to the original version, but presents a more lonely, reflective ambience. Kicking off the battle music section is the theme of Dialga and Palkia. The introduction of this track is just a single string chord, and then a piano riff. As Dialga and Palkia are easier to catch than many legendaries, every time I listen to this one, it sounds more fun than fight. Sort of like how they want to join your team in the story mode. Cyrus is my favorite villain from the Pokemon series, and his battle theme reflects that of his emotionless demeanor. Beginning with a drawn-out synthesized note, yet still feels just as important and intense as any other theme, because of the irregular bass movements. The difference in Cyrus's theme compared to the rest of Team Galactic's music could possibly show how, in the end, he really wants everything for himself and not his team. It's a really interesting way of perceiving it. I put a lot of work into these types of videos, so if you enjoy them, please consider subscribing. It's free, and you can unsubscribe anytime you want. All gameplay footage that I used is credited in the description. If you'd like to join my Discord server and discuss more Pokemon things, that's also in the description. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.